The Fractured Realms of Astraeon Noctis. Prologue, Crumbling Dominion. The scent of dying starlight clung to the halls of Nyx'thara Citadel. Queen Vaeloria Nyx'thara stood at the highest balcony, her fingers pressed against the obsidian railing, feeling the cold bite of the stone against her skin. Azure's skin always held a faint chill, smooth as polished marble, faintly luminescent under moonlight, and cool enough that humans often mistook them for statues. But tonight, even her own flesh felt colder than usual, as if the Dominion's failing bloodlines were seeping into her bones. Below her, the city glowed with its usual sapphire radiance, but the light felt dimmer, sickly, as though the Dominion itself were exhaling its last breath. "Your Majesty." The voice came from behind her, soft, aged, and threaded with a tremor that Vaeloria had never heard from Elder Sarastra Moongloom before. The Elder's footsteps were nearly silent, but the Queen could smell her before she turned, the faint scent of moon lilies and old parchment, the fragrance of a woman who had lived through centuries of Azurae history. Vaeloria didn't turn. "Tell me it's not true." Sarastra exhaled, a sound like brittle leaves breaking. "I cannot." The Queen closed her eyes. Her skin prickled with the cold wind, and she imagined it sinking deeper, into her blood, into her marrow. "Another child?" "Stillborn," Sarastra whispered. "The third this month." Vaeloria's throat tightened. "And the others?" "Defective. Fragile. Their bodies cannot sustain the enhancements of their lineage. Their hearts fail. Their bones crumble. Their minds," Sarastra hesitated. "Their minds do not form." Vaeloria gripped the railing until her knuckles turned pale blue. "We were sculpted to be perfect. Our ancestors shaped us from shadow and starlight. We were meant to endure." "And we have," Sarastra said gently, "for thousands of years. But every lineage reaches its limit. Even ours." The Queen finally turned to face her. Sarastra's skin was a deeper shade of blue, etched with faint silver lines, ancestral markings that only the eldest Azurae bore. Her eyes, pale and luminous, held a sorrow Vaeloria had never seen. "Tell me the truth," Vaeloria said. "All of it." Sarastra bowed her head. "Our genetic matrix is collapsing. The noble lines are too refined, too sculpted. We have perfected ourselves into extinction." Vaeloria's breath caught. "And my daughter?" Sarastra's expression softened. "Princess Lyria is strong of spirit. But her body, it was never meant to bear the weight of her lineage. Her muscles cannot hold her. Her nerves misfire. Her bones are too soft. She cannot stand," Vaeloria whispered. "She cannot even lift her own weight." "She is alive," Sarastra said. "That alone is a miracle." Vaeloria's voice cracked. "A miracle born of desperation." Silence settled between them, heavy as stone. Then Sarastra stepped closer, lowering her voice. "There is more." Vaeloria stiffened. "More? I have seen visions," Sarastra said. "Shadows moving beyond our borders. A darkness older than our dominion. Older than our world." The Queen's pulse quickened. "You speak of prophecy." "I speak of inevitability," Sarastra replied. "A great darkness approaches. One that will not wait for us to solve our own decline." Vaeloria's skin tingled, the faint luminescence flickering with her rising fear. "We cannot face another threat. Not now. Not like this." "You must," Sarastra said, "because it is already here." Before Vaeloria could respond, the doors to the balcony burst open. General Caressa Vanthal strode in, her armor gleaming like liquid night, her expression grim. "Your Majesty," she said, bowing quickly. "We have a breach." Vaeloria's heart lurched. "Where?" "Lumenfall Fortress." The Queen's breath froze. "That is impossible. The fortress is impenetrable." "Not tonight," Caressa said. "Not against this." Sarastra's eyes widened. "It has begun." Vaeloria forced her voice steady. "Report." Caressa swallowed hard. "Undead infiltrators. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. They moved like shadows, silent, coordinated. They tore through our sentries before we even knew they were there." Vaeloria's skin crawled. "Undead? Necromancy is forbidden. No one in this world commands such power." Caressa hesitated. This one does. A chill swept through the balcony. Who? Vaeloria demanded. Caressa's voice dropped to a whisper. The Fright Knight. Sarastra gasped. Sir Morvath Boneclad. Vaeloria's blood ran cold. That is a myth. Not anymore, Caressa said. He stormed the fortress gates alone. Our warriors, our fastest, our strongest, could not touch him. He moved like a phantom. His blade cut through armor as if it were mist. Vaeloria's knees weakened. How many dead? Caressa's jaw clenched. Their command estimated 800. The queen staggered back, gripping the railing for support. Her skin felt too tight, too cold, as if her body were shrinking under the weight of the news. And he left a message, Caressa added. Vaeloria forced herself to meet her general's eyes. What message? Caressa's voice trembled. War. The word echoed through the balcony like a death knell. Sarastra stepped forward. The Xombie Court has awakened. Vaeloria shook her head. They were destroyed centuries ago. Not destroyed, Sarastra said. Dormant. Waiting. And now they rise again. The queen's breath came in shallow gasps. We cannot fight a war. Not with our numbers dwindling. Not with our children dying. Not with my daughter. Her voice broke. Sarastra placed a gentle hand on her arm. You must be strong, Vaeloria. For her. For all of us. Vaeloria closed her eyes, fighting back tears. I am trying. I know, Sarastra whispered. But the world does not care for our timing. Caressa stepped closer. There is more, Your Majesty. Vaeloria's eyes snapped open. More. The humans refuse to take sides, Caressa said. They claim neutrality. Their borders are already strained. They will not aid us. Vaeloria's stomach twisted. And the elves? Caressa's expression darkened. Falling. Their forests burn. Their mountains crumble. The undead sweep through their lands like wildfire. Sarastra's voice was barely audible. The world fractures. Vaeloria felt the weight of it all pressing down on her. The failing bloodlines, the dying children, the rising undead, the collapsing alliances. Every problem compounded the next, a spiral of doom tightening around her throat. How long do we have? She whispered. Caressa hesitated. Days. Perhaps less. Vaeloria's vision blurred. She gripped the railing so hard her fingers ached. This cannot be happening. It is, Sarastra said softly. And we must face it. Vaeloria turned away, staring out over her dimming city. The scent of cold stone and dying starlight filled her lungs. Her skin tingled with fear, her luminescence flickering like a candle in a storm. My people are dying, she whispered. My daughter cannot properly succeed me. And now the world itself turns against us. Sarastra stepped beside her. Then you must do what our ancestors did. You must endure. Vaeloria shook her head. Everything suggests otherwise. Caressa placed a hand over her heart. You will. Because you must. The queen blinked hard, forcing herself to breathe. Prepare the Dominion. Send word to the elves. And summon the humans again. They cannot ignore this. They already ignored us, Caressa said. Then make them listen, Vaeloria snapped, her voice cracking. Caressa bowed. As you command. Sarastra lingered, her eyes full of sorrow. Vaeloria. The darkness I saw, it is not merely war. It is something older. Something hungry and searching. Vaeloria's skin prickled. What kind of darkness? Sarastra's voice trembled. The warm kind. The queen felt her heart shatter. And far beyond the balcony, beyond the city, beyond the Dominion itself, a distant horn sounded low, calm, and unmistakably dark. The Xombie Court had begun its march, and the Azurae Dominion was not ready. Chapter 1. A Council of Fading Light. Ivory Tower rose like a pale fong against the storm-heavy sky, its marble walls veined with silver runes that pulsed faintly as if the tower itself were breathing. Queen Vaeloria Nyx'thara felt the hum of ancient magic beneath her feet as she stepped through the archway, her skin prickling with the cold, sterile air of the place. Azurae's skin always reacted to magic, tiny sparks of luminescence flickering beneath the surface like trapped starlight. Tonight, her glow was dim, strained, as though her body understood the weight of what she carried. General Caressa walked beside her, armor whispering with every step, the scent of oiled metal and shadow herbs clinging to her. Elder Sarastra followed close behind, her presence soft but heavy, like a winter wind that carried omens. The hall opened into the council chamber, a vast circular room lit by floating orbs of pale fire. Representatives from the Wood Elves, Dark Elves, and Human Alliance were already gathered, their faces drawn tight with exhaustion and fear. The air smelled of damp cloaks, old parchment, and the faint metallic tang of anxiety. Chancellor Marrow Halden of the Northern Alliance rose first. His eyes were ringed with sleeplessness, his beard unkempt, his hands trembling slightly as he bowed. "Your Majesty," he said, voice hoarse. "We feared you would not come." Vaeloria forced her shoulders back. "We had no choice. The world is burning and dying," murmured Matron Virolith Duskwoven, the dark elf leader. Her skin was obsidian smooth, her silver eyes sharp as blades. "Our forests scream. Our mountains bleed. The dead rise faster than we can burn them." High Warden Thelani's Evershade of the Wood Elves nodded grimly. "We have lost 3 cities in as many days. The forests and merfolk are cut off from us. The black harpy circles above our borders. Her winds kill without sound." Vaeloria's stomach twisted. "We face the same horrors." The Fright Knight tore through Lumenfall Fortress. "Hundreds dead. My people are," her voice cracked. "My people are not ready for this." Chancellor Halden sank into his seat. "None of us are." Elder Sarastra stepped forward, her voice soft but carrying. "Then we must face the truth together. This is no ordinary magic. This is something older. Something from beyond our world." A ripple of unease passed through the room. Archmage Selvarin Quillspire, leader of the Wizards Guild, rose slowly. His robes were folded around him, his hair streaked with ash still fresh from his flight here, and his eyes, usually bright with arcane fire, were dim. He stepped sullenly around them now, and his eyes held a burden that hushed the rest of them as he gathered his words. "The Elder speaks truth," he said, "and I must confess what I have long feared." Vaeloria felt the room tighten around him, as though the tower itself leaned in to listen. "Speak," she said. Selvarin sighed and made his way back to his seat, but did not set himself down. "This began with one man, a former member of our guild, a necromancer named Ord Mortar." The name fell like a stone into a still pond. Caressa stiffened. "Ord Mortar is dead. He was executed by the Wizard Council decades ago." Selvarin's jaw clenched. "We believed he was. We were wrong." Vaeloria's skin prickled, her luminescence flickering. "Explain." Selvarin closed his eyes as if bracing himself. Ord claimed he was receiving visions, messages from another dimension. An unknown telepathic force was feeding him information from a book he called The Old Ways of New Paths. There is no recording all our history that references this book. We even reached out to the minister at the time, Minister Odom, to reference anything about the book and found nothing, not even in the forbidden archives of the Chaos Lords. Ord said he had been receiving segments of the book from an unknown intelligence from another dimension, a revelation he used to confound us consistently. He had found a way to pierce the veil between worlds and was using dark magic we had never seen before, summoning strange creatures with dark powers. Enhancing his own with strange sigils the dark force told him to draw along his own face and etch around his quarters. Myself and the rest of the Wizard Guild and the Council dismissed him as mad. But then he began killing, experimenting, raising the dead, and not just dead, but targeting cemeteries, graveyards, and fallen civilizations. He learned from their wise men, gained access to lost magics. The Wood Elf Warden hissed, "Abomination." We confronted him when he erected a dark castle in the borderlands and gathered a horde of undead and dark beasts, Selvarin continued. 7 archmages against 1, and his army of shadow filth. The battle nearly destroyed the guild and council members, long retired from battle, took the field, many losing their lives. Only Chancellor Halden and I survived. Halden looked away, shame etched into his face. Hated when this tale was told. We thought we had ended him, Selvarin said. But now I see the truth. He succeeded. He made contact with something beyond our realm. And those beings, those horrors, have empowered him. Vaeloria felt her heart hammering. The Gravedigger, the Banshee, the Black Harpy, the Fright Knight, they are not of this world. No, Selvarin whispered. They are not. Silence fell, thick and suffocating. Then the doors burst open. A man floated in and fell as he stumbled inside, clutching his chest, blood dripping between his fingers. His skin was pale, almost translucent, and his eyes glowed faintly with psychic light. Every noble, I recognized him instantly, Minister Odom Vaylok, emissary of the Chaos Dimension. Your Majesty, he gasped, collapsing to his knees. Vaeloria rushed to him, catching his shoulders. His skin was cold, slick with sweat, and she could smell the metallic tang of his blood, strange, almost electric. Odom, she whispered, glancing up at the others. The guard rushed in and found him crumpled in her arms, sheathing their weapons and wands. What happened? He coughed, blood flecking his lips. The Xombie Court, they knew I was coming. They ambushed me. I fought, but I am not strong enough. Caressa knelt beside them. Who did this? Odom's eyes flickered. The Fright Knight. He knew my name. Selvarin paled. They're targeting emissaries now. Odom grabbed Vaeloria's wrist with surprising strength. Listen to me. My death, it will send a signal. A psychic pulse. It will reach the Chaos Dimension. My mission was to find you. Vaeloria frowned. What does that mean? Odom's voice trembled. It means my master will know. Lord Vinyl Voidcrusher will know I have fallen. A chill swept through the room. Sarastra whispered, a Chaos Lord. Odom nodded weakly. He will be displeased. I was favored. Selvarin, kneeling by his side, unable to heal the wounds, felt a spike of panic. We cannot afford another enemy. Odom shook his head. Lord Vinyl will demand answers and compensation. Vaeloria closed her eyes, overwhelmed. I cannot deal with this now. My people are dying. The world is collapsing. Your Majesty, Odom whispered, you must. He had a message. I was meant to. He dreams of making. His grip loosened. His eyes dimmed. And then he went still. Vaeloria bowed her head, her skin flickering with grief and exhaustion. Another death, she whispered. Another burden. Caressa placed a hand on her shoulder. We will face this, my queen. Vaeloria shook her head. How? We are surrounded. Our allies are failing. Our children are dying. And now a Chaos Lord will come seeking vengeance. Sarastra stepped forward. You must not fear him. Chaos Lords are unpredictable, yes. But they're bound by ancient laws. He will not strike without cause. Vaeloria laughed bitterly. Cause? His favored messenger lies dead in my arms. Selvarin cleared his throat. We must focus on the immediate threat. Ord Mordor commands an army of extra-dimensional horrors. If we do not unite, we will all fall. The Dark Elf matron slammed her fist on the table. Then let us unite. Let us strike back. The Wood Elf Warden shook his head. We cannot. Our forces are depleted. Our lands are overrun. Halden looked at Vaeloria, eyes pleading. Your Majesty, what do we do? Vaeloria felt the weight of every gaze in the room. Her skin tingled with fear, her luminescence flickering like a dying flame. She thought of her daughter, fragile, trembling, unable to stand. She thought of her people, dying, failing, fading. She thought of the undead marching across the world. And she felt something inside her break. We fight, she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. We fight because we must. We fight because there is no one else. We fight because if we do not, the world will end. The room fell silent. Then Caressa rose, placing her fist over her heart. For the Dominion. The elves followed. For the realms. The humans bowed their heads. for survival. Vaeloria looked down at Odum's still form, her heart heavy. And for the dead. As the council began to strategize, Vaeloria stepped away, her skin glowing faintly in the dim light. She felt Sarastra approach before she heard her. "You are afraid," the elder said softly. "Yes," Vaeloria whispered, terrified. "Good," Sarastra replied. "Only fools face darkness without fear." Vaeloria turned to her. "Do you truly believe we can win?" Sarastra's eyes glimmered. "I believe in you." Vaeloria swallowed hard. "Then let us hope that is enough." But as she looked toward the far window, she felt a strange ripple in the air, like a breath drawn in the dark. Something was coming. Something powerful. Something hungry. And the queen knew, with a sinking certainty, that the death of Minister Odum was only the beginning. Chapter 2. The Pen That Writes in Darkness. The Azurae Tower was quiet that night, too quiet. Princess Lyria Vaeldine sat alone in the Hall of Echoes, her thin fingers curled around the arms of her chair as she tried, once again, to stand. Her legs trembled violently beneath her, muscles spasming, nerves misfiring. She gritted her teeth, breath hissing through them as she pushed upward. Her knees buckled. She collapsed back into the chair with a soft cry. The hall smelled of cold stone and moon dust, the faint scent of the shadow flowers that grew in the cracks of the tower walls. Her skin, pale blue and faintly luminescent, shivered with frustration. She hated this weakness. Hated the way her body betrayed her. Hated the way her mother looked at her with love and sorrow tangled together. She tried again, and again, and again. On the fourth attempt, a voice spoke from behind her. "If you cannot understand, you should overstand." Lyria froze. The voice was calm, low, and threaded with something she couldn't name, something vast. She turned slowly, but not fearfully. Something in his tone was not threatening, but the princess was curious who could have found their way into one of the inner sanctums of the palace. A man stood in the doorway, unassuming, plain even. Dark hair, a crisp, smooth suit, with a folded tie at his neck. A gleaming black shadow gem at his chest where the breast pocket should have been. He wore no armor, no crown, no aura of magic. Though her body was underdeveloped, her senses were keen, and she could sense no resonance, no magical force from this man. He looked like someone who had wandered in by mistake. But his eyes were wrong. They were black with silver, gleaming irises. They were too deep, too dark, too alive. They held galaxies in them, swirling and shifting like ink in water. When he looked at her, she felt as though he saw every thought she'd ever had, every fear she'd ever whispered into the dark. Who are you?" she whispered. He stepped forward, and the air changed. The shadows bent toward him. The light dimmed. The temperature dropped just enough to make her skin prickle. "I am looking," he said softly, "for the one who killed my messenger." Lyria's breath caught. There was a message from her mother yesterday of the death of the envoy to the Chaos Dimension. Though the princess knew little of her mother's dealings with the esteemed nobles of the Chaos Realm, she knew enough to understand that the presence of this man was no small thing. Minister Odum. His jaw tightened. Yes, Odum. My favorite emissary. My voice in this world. And now he is dead. The Lord Regent, the Lorien Vexmere, rushed into the hall, breathless and pale. "Princess, get back. Who are you to enter the royal tower unannounced?" The man didn't even look at him. "I am Vinyl Voidcrusher," he said simply. "Chaos Lord of Darkness. Emperor of the Chaos Dimension. And I am owed an explanation." The regent stumbled back as if struck. His skin lost all color. A Chaos Lord. Lyria's heart hammered. She remembered what her mother told her. Odum's last words echoed in her mind. "My master will know. He will be displeased. He will demand answers." She swallowed hard. "Lord Vinyl, I'm so sorry. Odum, he tried to warn us. He died protecting us." Vinyl's gaze softened barely. Odum was skilled with mental magic. He stepped closer, and Lyria felt the air thrum around him. "But that does not answer my question. Who killed him?" "The Xombie Court," Lyria whispered. Their knight. The one called the Fright Knight, Morvath Boneclad. Vinyl's expression darkened. Morvath Boneclad. Lyria tried to stand again, wanting to show respect, but her legs buckled. She gasped, falling forward. Vinyl caught her with one hand at her side before she hit the ground. His hand was warm, shockingly warm, and when his fingers touched her skin, she felt something surge through her, like liquid starlight, like molten shadow, like 1,000 whispered truths. He looked down at her, eyes softening. "You wish to stand." "I'm fine," she lied. "No," he said gently. "You're not." He placed 2 fingers against her temple. The world exploded into light. Her nerves realigned. Her muscles strengthened. Her bones hardened. Her blood surged with new vitality. She felt her body knit itself together, piece by piece, as if she were being rewritten. When the light faded, she was stared into those hungry eyes and strained her body for the first time. Her back, her neck, pulled in ways it had never done before. With a monumental pull from her knees, she stretched out. The regent stared in stunned awe at the sight. Standing. On her own. She stared at her legs, trembling. I can stand." Vinyl smiled faintly. Indeed. She took a step. Then another. Then she ran laughing, crying, spinning in circles as her luminescence flared bright and brilliant for the first time in her life. The regent fell to his knees. "Chaos Lord, you healed her." Vinyl shrugged. She healed herself. Lyria stopped in front of him, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Why? Why would you help me?" He looked at her with something almost tender. "Because you are important to someone I must speak with." Before she could ask what he meant, the tower shook violently. A scream echoed through the halls. The regent paled. "No, not again." The doors burst open. Sir Morvath Boneclad stepped inside, towering and monstrous, his bone armor dripping with black ichor. His sword long, jagged, and humming with necrotic energy, dragged across the floor, leaving scorch marks. "Princess," he growled. "Your time has come." Lyria froze. Vinyl stepped in front of her. Morvath's empty eye sockets flared with sickly green fire. You are not of this world." Vinyl smiled. "No, I am not. Neither are you." Morvath raised his sword. "Then you will die with it." Vinyl reached into his breast pocket and pulled out a pen. A simple pen. Black metal. Silver nib. No ornamentation. Morvath laughed, a horrible grinding sound. "You mock me." Vinyl twirled the pen between his fingers and clicked it. "No, you simply don't know who I am." Morvath lunged. Vinyl moved like ink flowing across a page, smooth, effortless, inevitable. His pen met Morvath's blade with a ringing clash that shook the hall. Sparks of shadow and light burst from the impact. A strange duel took place now, with the Chaos Lord stepping forward and aside, sending jets of darkness at the Fright Knight, who blocked with his huge bone shield and struck back, over and around the shield, only to be deflected again and again by the tip of the pen. Lyria watched, breathless, as Vinyl stepped and circled around the undead knight, each stroke of his pen leaving trails of shimmering symbols in the air, runes that twisted and writhed like living things, and left marks along the bone armor of the huge undead knight. Morvath roared, swinging wildly. "You cannot kill what is already dead. Your sigils mean nothing." Vinyl sighed. "You'll wish I was only trying to kill you." He flicked his wrist. The pen wrote a single word in the air. A word that glowed with impossible power. A word that unmade. Morvath froze, cracked, shattered, and vanished into dust. Silence fell. Vinyl clicked his pen, flipping it through his fingers and placing it back into his inner pocket. Annoying creature. Lyria stared at him, awestruck. You erased him." "Yes," Vinyl said simply. "Now, where's your mother?" Lyria swallowed. "At the ivory tower." "Take my hand." She did. Flattered and aware she had never been offered a hand she could step toward before. The world folded. They appeared in the ivory tower's council chamber, where Queen Vaeloria stood mid-sentence, arguing with the elves and humans. Her skin glowed faintly with stress, her voice sharp with exhaustion. She turned and froze. "Lyria," she whispered. Her daughter stood tall, strong, radiant. "Mother," Lyria said, tears in her eyes. "I can walk." Vaeloria's breath hitched. She rushed forward, pulling her daughter into her arms, her hands trembling as she touched her face, her shoulders, her legs. How is this possible?" Lord Vinyl stepped forward. Vaeloria looked up at him, and the world stopped. His eyes locked onto hers, dark, endless, hungry. Not for power, not for dominion, for her. The look hit her like a physical force. Her skin flushed a deeper blue, her luminescence flaring in a soft, involuntary glow. Her breath caught in her throat. Elder Sarastra, standing nearby, saw the blush and her eyes widened in silent understanding. Vinyl bowed his head slightly. "Queen Vaeloria, I have returned for Odin's body to bring it to the Chaos Dimension for proper burial." Vaeloria stared hard. "Thank you, Lord Vinyl." He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming, his gaze never leaving hers. "We will speak soon." Her heart pounded. He turned away, shadows bending around him as he vanished into the air. Vaeloria stood frozen, her skin glowing, her pulse racing. Lyria whispered, "Mother, are you all right?" Vaeloria exhaled shakily. I think I finally understand what Odin meant." Sarastra nodded slowly. "Yes, he wanted to speak with you. And now he will." Vaeloria pressed a hand to her chest, feeling her heart thunder. The Chaos Lord had come, and he had looked at her as though she were the only thing in the world worth seeing. Chapter 3: A Receipt for Traitors. The ivory tower trembled long before the alarms began to scream. Queen Vaeloria felt it first, a subtle vibration beneath her feet, like the heartbeat of something ancient stirring in the stone. The council chamber's floating lights flickered, dimming to a sickly gray. The air thickened with the scent of burnt ozone and rotting leaves. Elder Sarastra stiffened. Something is wrong. General Caressa drew her blade. Defensive formation. But the warning came too late. The chamber doors exploded inward, shards of marble flying like shrapnel. A wave of shadow poured through the opening, coalescing into hooded figures, dozens of them, their robes stitched with writhing runes, their faces hidden behind masks of polished obsidian. The Umbral Cabal. At their center walked a tall, gaunt man with skin the color of old parchment and eyes like pits of tar. His presence sucked the warmth from the room. Even the magical lights dimmed in his wake. "Queen Vaeloria," he said, voice smooth as oil. "How gracious of you to remain in one place. Saves me the trouble of hunting you." Vaeloria stepped forward, chin high despite the tremor in her hands. "Malachar Umbros, I should have known you were behind this." He bowed mockingly. "Leader of the Umbral Cabal, architect of the Xombie Court's ascension. And soon, the man who will accept your surrender." Caressa snarled. "You dare." Malachar flicked his fingers. Caressa flew backward, slamming into a pillar with a sickening crack. Vaeloria's skin flared with luminescent fury. "Enough," Malachar smiled. "Your dominion is dying. Your allies are broken. Your daughter is a cripple. And your world is already half-claimed by the dead. You have nothing left to bargain with." He stepped closer, shadows curling around his feet like serpents. "So kneel, Queen of the Azurae. Kneel, and I may allow your people to die quickly." Vaeloria's heart pounded. She could smell the Cabal's magic, burnt iron, grave dust, and something sour, like spoiled fruit. Her skin crawled beneath its touch, but she did not kneel. She opened her mouth to speak, and the air behind her shifted. No sound, no flash, no ripple of magic, just presence. A presence that made the shadows recoil and then bend to it. Malachar froze mid-step. Vaeloria felt the warmth before she saw him. The subtle heat that always accompanied him, like the glow of a star hidden behind smoke. She turned slowly. Lord Vinyl Voidcrusher stood at her side. Silent, still, unassuming, except for his eyes. Those black, endless eyes locked onto hers, and the world fell away. Everything else, the cabal, the council, the alarms, blurred into nothing. His gaze bored into her, not with violence, but with absolute focus. Absolute possession. Absolute certainty. Her breath caught. Her skin flushed a deeper blue, luminescence shimmering like liquid moonlight. She felt her pulse in her throat, her wrists, her lips. He looked at her as if she were the only fixed point in a collapsing universe. Then he turned his head slowly, deliberately, toward Malachar. "Who," Vinyl asked softly, "is this?" Before speaking, Vaeloria grit her teeth, relishing the moment just a bit as she dropped her line. "Lord Vinyl is a suitor from the Chaos Dimension, come to take my hand in matrimony," she delivered coolly. Malachar swallowed. I am Malachar Umbros, leader of the Umbral Cabal." And Vinyl didn't let him finish. He stepped forward, shadows bending around him like obedient pets. "You killed my messenger." Malachar's mask cracked. Odom? He was nothing. A worm. A servant of some useless dimension. Dawning and horror now lit along his soul as he watched those black eyes beam down at him. Vinyl's expression didn't change, but the temperature in the room dropped so sharply that frost formed on the marble floor. Vaeloria felt it, the shift in him. The quiet, terrifying stillness of a Chaos Lord deciding whether someone deserved to exist. Malachar stumbled back. W8. Vinyl didn't even raise a hand. He simply looked at him, and Malachar screamed. He clutched his head, collapsing to his knees as invisible force crushed his mind and the shadows around him. The other Cabal members shrieked, their shadows writhing, leaving them all in mouth-frothing pain. Though their bodies were untouched, their minds and souls were scarred and ripped by tendrils of umbra-kinetic force no magic could replicate or defend against. Vaeloria stepped forward, placing a hand on Vinyl's arm. He stopped instantly. His eyes snapped back to hers. And she felt it again, that pull, that gravity, that impossible connection. His gaze softened, darkened, deepened. Her breath hitched. Her skin glowed brighter. She knew in that moment that she would follow those eyes anywhere. Anywhere. Lord Vinyl turned back to the council. These traitors empowered the Xombie Court. They caused Odom's death. They endangered your world. He paused. I request permission to take them with me to the Chaos Dimension. I will not be bringing them back. The room was silent. Then, one by one, the Wood Elf Warden nodded. The Dark Elf Matron bowed. Chancellor Halden raised his hand dismissively. Selvarin whispered, please do. Vaeloria spoke to him, her voice barely steady. You have my permission. Chaos Lord Vinyl smiled. It was not a kind smile. Invisible chains erupted from the floor. Thin lines of shimmering ink that wrapped around the Cabal members, binding their limbs, sealing their mouths, dragging them toward a swirling void that opened behind Vinyl like a hungry maw. Malachar shrieked. No, you cannot. Vinyl tilted his head. I can. The void swallowed them whole. Silence fell. Vinyl dusted off his hands. Messy business. The council stared, wide-eyed, trembling. None of them could sense a single bead of magic in the display, silently terrifying them all. Then Lord Vinyl reached into his coat, pulled out a small slip of parchment, and scribbled something with his pen. He handed it to Selvarin. The Archmage blinked. What is this? A receipt, Vinyl said, clicking and replacing his pen. The room stared. Selvarin read aloud. Receipt for traders. 1 Umbral Cabal, assorted sizes. Condition, treasonous. Purpose, disposal. Signed, Lord Vinyl Voidcrusher. Chaos Lord of Darkness, Emperor of the Chaos Dimension, Keeper of the Darkness Pen. There was a beat of stunned silence. Then Chancellor Halden snorted. The Wood Elf Warden choked. The Dark Elf Matron burst into laughter so sharp she doubled over. Even Caressa, bruised and limping, cracked a smile. Vaeloria pressed a hand to her mouth, trying not to laugh, but Vinyl's eyes were already on her again. That look, that impossible, consuming look. Her heart fluttered wildly. Vinyl stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "You made a bold declaration earlier." Her cheeks warmed. "I did. You introduced me as your suitor." She made a thin, revealing smile. "Yes. Was that for strategy?" he asked softly, "or for me?" Her luminescence flared. "For you," she whispered. Vinyl's eyes darkened, deepened, softened all at once. "Good." He turned to the council. "The Cabal is gone. Their magic will unravel. The Xombie Court will collapse within hours." Selvarin gasped. "Then, the war is over," Vinyl said simply. And it was. The undead stopped rising. The horde stopped regenerating. The sky cleared. The world exhaled. Vinyl looked back at Vaeloria. She felt her knees weaken, not from fear, but from the sheer intensity of him. He extended a hand. "Shall we discuss what comes next?" Vaeloria took it. And the moment their fingers touched, she knew. She would follow those eyes into the void itself. Chapter 4. To the Eyes of Darkness. The Dominion breathed again. For the first time in months, the air in Nyx'thara Citadel smelled of life instead of decay. The scent of shadow flowers drifted through the open windows, mingling with the cool night breeze. The streets below glowed with soft blue lantern light as the Azurae people returned from the war, weary but alive. Their skin shimmered faintly in the moonlight, their luminescence stronger than it had been in years. Queen Vaeloria stood on the balcony overlooking her city, her hands resting on the obsidian railing. Her skin glowed with a soft, steady pulse, not the frantic flicker of fear she had worn for so long, but something calmer, something hopeful. Behind her, Princess Lyria spoke with Elder Sarastra, her voice bright, confident, steady. She moved with ease now, her steps light and sure. Every time Vaeloria looked at her daughter, her heart swelled with gratitude so fierce it almost hurt. The Dominion was healing. Her people were healing. And yet, her thoughts kept drifting to him. The way he had looked at her in the ivory tower as though she were the only thing in existence worth seeing. The way his presence had filled the room, bending the shadows, bending her. The way her skin had flushed under his gaze, her luminescence flaring like a star. She had not forgotten. She doubted she ever would. A soft ripple of warmth brushed against her senses, subtle, unmistakable. He was here. She turned. Lord Vinyl Voidcrusher stood in the doorway, hands folded behind his back, expression unreadable. But his eyes, those black, endless eyes locked onto hers the moment she faced him. And they did not look away. Her breath caught. Her skin glowed brighter, betraying her. He stepped forward, silent as a falling shadow. "Queen Vaeloria." His voice was low, warm, threaded with something that made her pulse quicken. "Lord Vinyl," she managed. He stopped only a few feet from her, close enough that she could feel the heat radiating from him. Close enough that she could smell him, a strange, intoxicating blend of ink, spices, and something darker, like the scent of a storm about to break. "I wish to see you," he said simply. Her heart fluttered. "Why?" His eyes softened, darkened, deepened. "Because I dreamed you. I dreamed us making love in gardens tended by your hands alone, watching the red moons pale in the distance, eating a meal prepared by your love and tastes." Her luminescence flared so brightly she had to look away. He stepped closer. "Vaeloria." She forced herself to meet his gaze. He looked at her as though she were a secret he had waited centuries to discover. "I would like to have dinner with you," he said, privately. Her voice came out softer than she intended. "Yes." He offered his hand. She took it. The world folded. They appeared in a quiet chamber lit by floating candles, a table set for two, the scent of warm spices and shadow wine filling the air. Vinyl pulled out her chair with a gentleness that startled her. Throughout the meal, his eyes never left her. Not once. He watched her with a hunger that wasn't physical, not yet, but something deeper. A hunger to know her, to understand her, to memorize every flicker of her expression, every shift of her breath. He asked her questions, endless questions. "What do you think of your people's recovery? What do you fear most? What do you hope for? What do you dream of? What do you want?" No one had ever asked her these things. Not like this. Not with such focus. Not with such sincerity. Not with intention to grant her whatever she desired. It was usually she granting wishes. And every time she answered, he listened, truly listened, as though her thoughts were treasures he had been searching for. At last, she found the courage to ask the question burning in her chest. "When you look at me," she whispered, "what do you see?" Vaenal rose from his seat. He walked to her side. He lifted his hand slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. His fingers brushed her temple. Her world exploded. She saw herself through his eyes, not as a queen, not as a ruler, not as a symbol, but as a radiant being of blue shadow and starlight, her luminescence blazing across dimensions, her presence bending reality like gravity. A goddess of twilight, a soul so bright it illuminated the void. She gasped, tears filling her eyes. You see me like that?" "I always have," he murmured. "From the moment I dreamed you." Her heart trembled. "Why?" His voice was a whisper of heat. "Because you are my destined mate." Her breath shuddered. Her skin glowed so brightly, the candles flickered. She opened her mouth to speak. The sky tore open. A scream of dimensional energy ripped through the air. The walls shook. The candles guttered out. A massive shadow fell across the citadel. Vaenal's expression darkened instantly. Ord Mortar. They appeared on the balcony in a blink. The sky was split by a jagged rift, and through it poured an army of extra-dimensional giants, towering, twisted things of bone and void flesh. At their heads stood Ord Mortar, his eyes burning with stolen power. "Queen Vaeloria," he roared. "Your dominion dies tonight. Your souls will forge my new court." Vaeloria stepped forward, unafraid. Vaenal moved to stand beside her, but she lifted a hand, stopping him. She looked at Ord. Then she looked at Vaenal. And she made her choice. "Lord Vaenal Voidcrusher," she said, voice steady, "I offer you my hand in marriage." Vaenal froze. The world froze. Even the giants paused. Vaeloria continued, her voice ringing across the citadel. "And in return, I ask for a wedding gift." Vaenal's eyes locked onto hers, burning with something fierce and possessive. "Name it." She pointed at Ord, his head. Vaenal didn't hesitate. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He simply willed it. Ord Mortar's had vanished from his shoulders and appeared in Vaenal's hand. The giants collapsed into dust. Silence fell. Vaenal stepped toward her, holding the severed head like an afterthought. "Your gift." She exhaled, trembling. "Thank you." He dropped the head. It dissolved into nothing. Then he took her hand. And she knew, with absolute certainty, that she would follow him anywhere, even into the void, even into eternity, even into love. Epilogue, Voidcrusher. The void was not empty. Vaeloria had expected darkness, silence, cold. Instead, the chaos dimension unfolded before her like a dream carved from nothing and everything. Obsidian towers rose in impossible spirals, their surfaces veined with molten gold that pulsed like living veins. Bridges of shimmering ink arched across vast chasms where galaxies swirled like dust motes. Gardens bloomed with flowers that whispered in forgotten languages. Libraries wrote themselves, pages turning without hands, ink flowing like rivers. And at the center of it all stood the Voidcrusher Citadel. It was beautiful in a way that defied reason, a palace of shadow glass and gold, its walls humming with ancient power, its halls filled with music that seemed to come from the bones of the universe itself. Vaeloria felt it the moment she stepped inside. The Citadel recognized her, welcomed her, shifted around her like a living thing adjusting to a new heartbeat. Vaenal walked beside her, silent but warm, his presence grounding her even as the world around them bent and shimmered. His hand brushed hers occasionally, not by accident, never by accident, and each touch sent a ripple of heat through her skin. "You're quiet," he murmured. "I'm overwhelmed," she admitted. He smiled, a small, private smile meant only for her. "Good. I wanted you to see everything." She looked up at him. "You share this with no one." "No one," he confirmed. "Until now." Her heart fluttered. Her luminescence brightened. She felt it, the bond between them, the pull, the gravity. It was not something she had chosen. It was something she had recognized. They walked through the citadel's inner gardens, where trees of black crystal grew leaves of shimmering silver. Strange birds with wings of ink and fire perched on branches, singing melodies that vibrated in her bones. The air smelled of warm spice and starlight. Your home is, she struggled for words. It's alive. It is, Vaenal said. Chaos is never still. And you live here alone? He nodded. My siblings rule their own realms. My parents dwell in the zone of laconism. Silence and scream do not coexist well with others. Vaeloria shivered. Will they come to the wedding? They will, Vaenal said. My father will stand in silence. My mother will scream her blessing. It will be memorable. She laughed softly. I believe it. He watched her laugh, really watched her, as though the sound itself was a treasure. His eyes softened, darkened, warmed. She felt her breath catch. Vaeloria, he said quietly, you belong to me now. I hope you can accept what that means. She looked around at the impossible beauty, the shifting shadows, the living architecture, and realized he was right. She did belong here. Not because she was queen, not because she was powerful, but because he wanted her here, because he saw her, because he had chosen her long before she had chosen him. A soft chime echoed through the hall. Mother. Vaeloria turned just in time to catch Princess Lyria as she rushed forward, her steps light and sure. Elder Sarastra followed behind, her eyes wide with awe as she took in the citadel's grandeur. Lyria threw her arms around her mother. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Vaeloria held her tightly, tears pricking her eyes. I'm so proud of you. Lyria pulled back, smiling. I'm proud of you. You look happy. Vaeloria glanced at Vaenal. He was watching her again, always watching her, with that same hungry, reverent gaze that made her skin glow and her heart race. I am, she whispered. More than I ever thought possible. Sarastra approached, bowing her head to Vaenal. Chaos Lord. Your home is beyond words. Vaenal inclined his head. Elder. You are welcome here. Lyria looked between them, her eyes shining. I hope I find something like this one day. Vaeloria cupped her daughter's cheek. You will. You deserve it. Sarastra nodded. Your heart is strong. It will lead you true. Lyria hugged her again before stepping back. I'll explore with the elder. You too, talk. Vaeloria felt her cheeks warm. Lyria. But her daughter only grinned and vanished down a corridor with Sarastra in tow. Silence settled. Vaenal stepped closer. She is happy. She is, Vaeloria said softly. And so am I. He reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Good. Her breath trembled. Vaenal, what happens now? He took her hand and led her deeper into the citadel, into the heart of the shadow spire, a chamber of swirling inklight and floating sigils, warm and alive. The air hummed with power. This, he said, is where Chaos Lords bind their souls. She swallowed. A blood oath. Yes. He turned to face her fully. If you wish it. She stepped closer. I do. He lifted her hand to his lips, kissing her knuckles with a tenderness that made her knees weaken. Then speak your vow. She did. She vowed her soul to his, her shadow to his darkness, her light to his void, her future to his eternity. When she finished, Vaenal's eyes burned with something fierce and unrestrained. My turn, he whispered. He vowed to protect her, to cherish her, to stand with her across realms and ages, to love her with the full, terrifying depth of a Chaos Lord's heart. And then, softly, reverently, you will bear me a son. Her breath caught. Vaenal. I cannot reproduce. My people. He touched her cheek, his thumb brushing her skin. You will. She felt it, the certainty in his voice, the truth in his power, the promise in his gaze. And she believed him. Their blood mingled, their souls bound. The chamber flared with light. When the glow faded, Vaenal pulled her into his arms, holding her as though she were the axis of his universe. "Vaeloria," he murmured, "my queen." She rested her forehead against his. "My chaos lord." Outside, the citadel shifted, its towers glowing brighter, its halls singing with new resonance, as though the entire realm celebrated their union. And at the heart of the multiverse, wrapped in shadow and starlight, the Queen of the Azurae and the Lord of Chaos stood together, beginning a dynasty that would reshape worlds. A new era, a new bond, a new future, forged in darkness, illuminated by love.